What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the all-new 2021 Subaru Crosstrek. So I'm going to have a bunch of videos coming out on the all-new Crosstrek. This one specifically is going to be taking a look at the limited trim here, but I'm also going to be doing a comparison between the 2020 and the 2021 Crosstrek, showing you all the differences. That probably will be coming at the beginning of next week. Depending on when you're watching this video, it's probably already out. But I'm also going to be taking a look at the Crosstrek Sport. We don't have one on the lot yet, but we will be getting one soon, and we'll be sure to take a look at that and all that it entails with its upgrades. Now, speaking of upgrades, the 2021 is a very Subaru-esque upgrade. It's nothing groundbreaking, nothing earth-shattering, but there are some subtleties here and there that are different here on the 2021, and some, no pun intended, under the hood changes. Now again, the trim we're looking at, this is the 2021 Subaru Crosstrek Limited 33 in cool gray khaki with black interior. So we'll just kind of go through everything we've got here on this new Crosstrek. So let's start up front as always. So you've got LED steering responsive headlights, LED fog lights. You have a redesigned and kind of reconfigured front fascia. Now again, it's nothing crazy, okay? But I have a 2019 Subaru Crosstrek, and I definitely can see subtle differences. And we'll take a more, one-to-one look when we do our direct comparison video. But you've got kind of, reshaped, retooled. The actual front fascia lip itself with the Subaru badge is a lot thinner. The actual gap between the top of the Subaru badge and the hood, redesigned kind of look of the grille. The plastic cladding that runs around is more aggressive and kind of restyled, and the area around the fog lights is a little bit different. Now again, same kind of plastic cladding that we're used to seeing on the Crosstrek. You get the same 8.7 inches of ground clearance across the board like we're used to seeing on Subarus. This specific model is the limited again, so it's got 18-inch black machine finished wheels here. These are super, super cool. I'm a huge fan of the look of these. They honestly look a little bit like the little chain that you wrap around a chainsaw, like the little, jagged edges. They look really, really nice. Obviously, all the different Subaru wheels look fantastic in their own specific way, but I'm a big fan of these for sure. Now, I talked about under the hood upgrades, and that is probably the headlining feature for 2021, and that is you now have an available 2.5 liter boxer engine. It's the same one that we find in the Outback and on the Legacy. It's just plopped here into the Crosstrek, and it's going to take your horsepower from 152 horsepower to 183 horsepower. You're going to get 176 pound-feet of torque, 34 miles per gallon highway, 27 miles per gallon city. So, I mean, that's a big deal. Like, it's nothing groundbreaking again. We're not putting a 3.6 liter in this thing. We're not putting the STI engine in this thing. But the fact that a small SUV like this, a compact SUV, goes from a 2 liter to a 2.5 liter and adds 30-ish horsepower, that's a big deal and is going to make an impact on an SUV that's relatively light like this one. So I've driven it a little bit, not a whole lot, but a little bit, and coming from my 2019 to the 2021, noticeable difference. Again, not earth-shattering, but definitely noticeable. All right, guys, real quick, if you have an interest in technology at all outside of the car space while at the same time kind of dabbling back into the car space, check out my new tech channel, Mets Tech. I'll put a clip here on screen and I'll have it linked above. Head over there, check out my videos, hit that subscribe button if you enjoy the content over there. I'm working on a kind of what's it like to own a Crosstrek video. So it's kind of applicable to this specifically. I own a 2019, so it's kind of what my experience has been over the past 2 years of owning it. So if you're in the market for maybe a used Crosstrek or you've never gotten into that space at all, definitely head over there, hit subscribe. Let's get back to the video. Moving on to the side mirrors here, you've got body colored side mirrors, integrated turn signals. They're heated. They've got blind spot monitoring built in, keyless access on the door handles here. You also have a push button start on the engine. Up top, you've got the black roof rails, which we're used to seeing, but you also have these kind of locked down crossbars. You have a power tilting and sliding sunroof. It's not panoramic, but it's still nice. Up top, you've got your EyeSight driver assist system. You have one extra feature that you did not have last year, and that is the lane centering feature, which we've talked about that in all of our other more, recent Subaru videos, but it basically keeps you in between the two strong painted lines and will kind of keep you right dead center of the lane. Again, granted, you have nice clean lines. It can even work around curves occasionally. Now moving to the back of the vehicle, I actually had to hold up a picture of the 2020 and kind of see if I could spot any major design differences here. And I don't really see any. Now, the keen-eyed among you may find some, and if you do, drop them in the comments below, but I think the redesign was mainly on the front grille slash fascia. So again, you've got halogen taillights here, same kind of plastic cladding with the kind of brake lights here. Brake light up top as well. Subaru badge, you know, standard rear vision camera, Crosstrek badge, Subaru badging, the symmetrical all-wheel drive badging. You've got your parking sensors dotted around. Now, one thing I really wish they would add to these Crosstreks is a power liftgate of any kind. It doesn't have to be the fancy swipe to open one or anything like that. Just a button, or being able to open it with the key fob would be really nice. But again, you don't have that. You just have a button here that you can push to unlock it, and then you have to manually lift it up, and there's no button here at all. For $32,000, which is the listing price of this specific model we're looking at here, to not have any type of power liftgate, I think is kind of crazy, because we've got vehicles much less expensive that have power liftgates with all kinds of fancy features and whatnot. But no such luck here on the 2021, maybe next year, but I doubt it. Now, taking a look at the trunk here, it is not huge, right? This is a compact SUV, but I am a videographer. I carry all kinds of camera gear, camera equipment, tripods, stands, cases full of camera gear, and it works for me, right? And you can drop these rear seats here, get some extra storage. Here's the dimensions with the rear seats folded up. And then here is the dimensions with the rear seats folded down. So you've got good cargo space. It's not great, it's not Outback status, but it's definitely not bad for the size of the vehicle. Cargo net here, all-weather mats here inside. You've got your cloth ones as well. You've got a cargo shade here that's retractable. You can also remove it altogether if you want to. Underneath here, you've got, you know, all your tools and your spare tire in the back. Again, like I said, cargo net, you've got tethers there in the back as well. So it's definitely, you know, got enough to store all of the different stuff you'd want to store, but it's not the most spacious trunk on the market in this segment. And that's pretty much everything here on the exterior. Let's go ahead and hop inside the cabin. So hopping inside the cabin here, let's just take a look at what we've got going on. Again, it's nothing really that we haven't seen before, but there's a couple new features that I'll point out as we go along. So starting up front, you've got this leather wrapped steering wheel with this accent stitching, multimedia controls on the left side, and then you've got your adaptive cruise control and lane centering button and SI drive buttons on the right side, paddle shifters on the back, lights on the left, wipers on the right. We're used to seeing that. Down underneath, you can turn your steering responsive headlights on or off. You can turn your traction control off, your auto start stop engine off, and your blind spot monitoring off if you want to. Two standard gauges right past there with the little LCD screen in the middle. It's a color LCD screen that helps you with your adaptive cruise control and that kind of stuff. So that's nice to have it. You know, we've seen it before. It's nothing new, but it is a nice feature to have. Up top, you have another screen that's going to give you, it's another color screen, so that's nice. Mine's black and white, but the color screen here will give you vehicle information, you know, date and time, all kinds of stuff like that. Now moving on down, you've got your 8-inch Starlink infotainment center. This is the upgraded one from the 6.5-inch that we'll see on lower trim levels. This has phone, navigation, Bluetooth, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, My Subaru, you know, Subaru Starlink app, you know, Sirius XM radio, everything you're used to seeing. There's not any new features really to point out on here. It works great. You know, it's a pretty fluid system overall. I use it on a regular basis, mainly for Apple CarPlay, but you can use it with those other features if you want to. But if you go ahead and put it in reverse here, you're gonna get that rear view camera. It's got your colored level markers and then your little turn indicators to tell you, you know, what angle you're coming in at. You've got your rear automatic braking enabled and your parking sensors enabled. That'll show you, you know, how close you are to obstacles. Moving on down from that, you have your automatic climate control system. Now this isn't like dual zone or tri-zone or anything like that. Just a standard automatic. It'll, you know, maintain whatever set temperature you want it to be, but it's nothing too fancy. That's just kind of what you get on these lower priced vehicles. You've got two USB-A ports, 12-volt outlet, 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, a nice little flat area for you to put phone or keys or whatever, because this is keyless access with the push button start here. You've got a shift knob here. This kind of has a leather kind of padding around it with a little plastic actual shift knob itself with the orange accent stitching. This looks very similar to my 2019, so nothing really to point out here. X mode, heated seats here. You still have a manual parking brake, no electronic parking brake. I would have loved to see them throw that in, but no such luck. Underneath, you've got two more USB-A charging ports, another 12-volt outlet, as well. Nice deep pocket. Now the driver's side is a 6-way power adjustable seat and the passenger side is a manually adjustable seat, nothing too fancy. Now as far as seating surfaces go, you've got leather wrapped seats here with this orange accent stitching and this perforation that runs right down the middle. And it's got kind of an orange accent behind the perforation dots. Typically we see perforation like this on ventilated seats. No such luck here, just heated seats, as we talked about a little bit earlier. Now in the back of the Crosstreks, you're pretty limited on what you get. You really don't get anything. You get the same kind of leather wrapped orange stitching, orange perforation. You don't get any USB ports, you don't get any vents. Just is what it is. Again, for almost $33,000, I feel like they could have thrown some USB ports in the back. Moving up top for just a sec, you've got this pretty feature-rich rear view mirror. So it's an auto-dimming rearview mirror with a built-in compass. You've got your universal HomeLink garage door controls as well, which is super nice. And I even have this on my premium 2019, so that's a nice feature to have for sure. Eyesight cameras up top. You can turn your forward collision alert off, your lane departure off. You can tilt and slide your sunroof here, and you've got just your normal visors here and LED lights here for, you know, seeing what you're doing at night. Nothing too crazy at all up top. So let's kind of talk about what I wish they would have added to the 2020, because if you guys are familiar with how kind of life cycles of vehicles go, a new generation will come out about every 3 years, right? So we first were introduced to the Crosstrek, I think in 2013 with the XV, and it kind of transitioned a little bit from there. And in 2018, we got a full redesign, and that's actually the generation that I have with my 2019. And I think it looked significantly better than the previous generation. And then now for the 2021 model year, this is typically when you would see, you know, a more significant refresh. We got a few refreshes from like the 2019 to the 2020 and so on, but this is supposed to be the year when you get like some significant changes. And really the most significant change is the fact that you now have the optional 2.5 liter in specific trims, and then I guess what they're calling a front end redesign. It's very, very subtle, right? So I don't understand really why they wouldn't have pushed the boundaries here on the 2021 to kind of make it stand out a little bit more. You know, I think they could price the Limited a little bit more expensively than it is. I know it's expensive, don't get me wrong, it is, but make it 35, right? And give you some of the more premium features that we see on like the Forester or the Outback. Like give us like a bigger screen option, like even a 10-inch screen option. Give us you know, a power lift gate in the back. Give us 10-way power adjustable seats with, you know, heated options. Give us vents in the back with like a dual zone climate control type of situation. Like give us some ports, some extra, give us some USB-C ports. Like there's so many things just running through my mind of all these like competitors and what they're doing, like Chevy, Volkswagen, you know, even Hyundai with like the Kona and all these, like these things have like heads up displays and more modern ports and like, you know, front facing cameras. In fact, there's a spot in the front, I'll show you on screen right now. There's a spot up front where I know they could put a 180-degree front facing camera. I know for a fact they can put it there because the cutout is there, but it's not an option. Like, I don't understand, like push the Crosstrek forward. Like it is so significant in the Subaru lineup. It is one of the top selling compact SUVs on the market, but especially from Subaru. I mean, this is like one of the top selling vehicles that they have. It's sporty, it's compact while being spacious at the same time. It gets great fuel economy. You know, it's got a nice rugged, sporty design. It's got a plethora of nice colors to choose from. Super safe, like, you know, not that expensive car. Like push it, like push the boundaries and make it something that you could get on the lower levels with something, you know, like this that has a few less features, but give us a true premium. This is a Limited. This should be the top of the line. Give us a true, like give us a Touring or something and give us just like the whole suite of features and make it a little bit more expensive so someone can get something that's a little bit smaller. They don't need all that kind of space of an Outback or a Forester, but they can still get the luxurious kind of premium features that those vehicles offer. I don't feel like that's too much to ask. You know, even if you don't go as far as giving, you know, the huge screen and stuff like that, just give us some more like functional features, like I said, like the rear liftgate, like the extra ports, like the, you know, heated and ventilated seats, like the dual zone climate control, like vents in the back, like anything like that. Even just a sprinkling of those things, I think would really take the Crosstrek to a whole new level. All right, guys, and that is the 2021 Subaru Crosstrek Limited. Drop a like on the video if you loved it. Tell me in the comments down below, what is your favorite new feature? You like that upgraded engine, or do you love the cool gray khaki color? It is one of my favorite colors. It's not new, but it's beautiful nonetheless. Let's have a conversation down in the comments, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button to be among the first to see every single new Subaru video the second I hit publish. We'll see you in the next one.